You're watching ABC7 News at 7.
It's a great way for people to get outside, appreciate nature, get healthy, get active.
Happy trails, everyone. Voters say yes to rails to trails, but who's paying for it and how its expansion could link up with the rest of the state. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohen, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. We'll have more on rails to trails in a moment, but first, our top stories at 7. In sickness and in health, right? An elderly Northport woman is dead, and police think it was no accident. Police were called to a home in the Grand Paradiso development Saturday night. That's where they found 76-year-old Barbara Jones, who had been injured after a fall. She was taken to the hospital where she later died of her injuries. At the time of the fall, police say she was taking care of her ailing husband, 77-year-old Robert Jones. Investigators allege he pushed her down while receiving care.
Right now, our goal is to piece everything together, get all of those details together, and then what will likely happen here is we'll provide that to the state attorney's office, and they'll make that determination on whether charges will be needed going forward.
Police say an autopsy will be taking place this week. A Tallahassee judge is refusing to allow the Florida House of Representatives to intervene in a medical marijuana lawsuit. The judge says the Republican-dominated legislature should sue the federal government if lawmakers are unhappy that he struck down a 2017 pot-related statute as unconstitutional. Florida is passing a session last year that is challenging a law passed during a special session that aimed implementing a voter-approved 2016 constitutional amendment broadly legalizing the use of medical marijuana.
Step over all of this political noise. Just do what the amendment says you should do. Make medical marijuana safe and available to the citizens of Florida that need it.
The judge ruled last month a law which capped the number of medical marijuana licenses the Department of Health can approve was unconstitutional and ordered the state to begin registering other medical marijuana firms to do business in the state. Investigators have identified the man who shot and killed during a driving incident in Bradenton late Saturday night. Deputies say 22-year-old Baron Pittman was found dead in a vehicle on 17th Street East in Bradenton. Witnesses say they heard gunshots, then saw a vehicle crash into a ditch. A passenger in the car ran off. Deputies searched the area but were not able to find them. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Manatee County Sheriff's Office at 747-3011. The chaotic election recount in Broward County has cost the supervisor of elections there her job. The South Florida Sun-Sentinel reporting Snipes turned into her resignation letter yesterday. She has been the top elections official in Broward County since 2003, but she says been heavily criticized for how she handled this year's election and recount. On Saturday, Snipes acknowledged her office had misplaced more than 2,000 ballots during the recount. There's been an interesting visitor on the streets of Sarasota this afternoon. A coyote has been spotted by residents around the Arlington Street and Orange Avenue area yesterday and today. It's just blocks away from the downtown area. Some people who live there sent us this video and photos of the coyote. Experts say to be extra careful around coyotes, especially with your dog or your cat. Neighbors have contacted the FWC and the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office, and they were told that the coyote, if it does become a nuisance, they just typically leave them alone. And joining us now with our first alert forecast, here's Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Yeah, speaking of that, Northwest Bradenton in our neighborhood there, the coyote last night actually attacked a cat, two of them, and the cat they took away, obviously. So take care of your small pets, especially at night. That one during the daytime there seems to be becoming more and more of a problem here lately here along the Sun Coast. Well, the beautiful sunset, not a problem here tonight, just gorgeous. Our ABC7 tower cam. Again, look at that, just spectacular sunset, pretty calm out there on the bay, and we're looking at current conditions. A few clouds are around. Some high clouds have been streaming overhead from the Gulf of Mexico. It's cooled now since the sun has set, some 5 degrees just in the last hour, and the humidity is at 79%. The humidity is coming back up too. You may have noticed it today. The dew point temperature, that too, coming up higher at 68, and the low temperature can't go below the dew point, so we'll look for low temperatures to be above average. Our normal low for this time of year, right around 59, 60 degrees, so we'll be well above that to start the day tomorrow. We even had a few scattered showers developing along the sea breeze front this afternoon. As that air traveled inland, it got into the heat of the day, which was into the low to mid 80s, and fired off a few showers, produced about 0.2 of an inch of rainfall in some spotty areas. Those showers now near Sebring, and another one on the border there of Hardee and DeSoto counties. Well, a developing system to the northwest of us now. We're keeping an eye on this. An area of low pressure and high pressure building in from the central plains will push this cooler and slightly drier air our way. That happens late Tuesday and into Wednesday, bringing with it cooler temperatures to start the day off on Wednesday and Thursday morning. Highs will still be pretty close to seasonal averages. Well, much more on our forecast for Thanksgiving and all you travelers out there coming up in just a few minutes. Alan?
Bob, thank you. Sarasota County voters have approved a referendum to extend the Legacy Trail and its connections. So what is next for the miles-long path and trails around the county? ABC7's Erica Jackson joins us with the details on the nationwide Rails to Trails initiative.
The Legacy Trail is more than 10 miles long, and for some, the goal is to link it to other paths across the state to make one massive trail throughout Florida.
I love just being out in the outdoors, no cars, and you just feel free.
Mark Blumenthal is a volunteer with Sarasota County and rides the full length of the Legacy Trail every other day. He says it's the easiest and most environmentally friendly way to get from Venice to South Sarasota.
You can rollerblade on this, you can skate on this, you can bicycle on this, you can run, you can walk. It's for everybody.
It's just one of hundreds of former rail lines in the U.S. transformed into trails. The nonprofit Rails to Trails says the goal of the program is to build healthier places for healthier people.
It's a gem for our county.
Megan Idell is the Sarasota County Trails Coordinator. She says more than 225,000 people use the Legacy Trail every year, which is why the county recently bought land using $7.9 million in impact fees to extend the trail nearly 3 miles.
It's a great way for people to get outside, appreciate nature, get healthy, get active.
That extension is separate from the county's referendum approved by voters. The plan is to create 30 miles of paved use trail, adding 9 miles north to Payne Park in downtown Sarasota, and could eventually connect Manatee, Sarasota, DeSoto, and Charlotte counties.
It'll be a full park with amenities, stop stations, parking, and a multi-use path for recreational opportunities.
Looking ahead decades, the Legacy Trail could become part of one massive rail trail. But right now, the goal is to build a complete trail system in the state, connecting Jacksonville to Tampa, down to Naples, east to Miami, and back up to Jacksonville.
As we build this over the next 10, 15 years, this will become an important part of the Florida trail system.
The extension would also boost tourism, getting visitors closer to our award-winning beaches.
Boosting economic development, connecting our communities, getting people into other places with alternative transportation that they couldn't maybe otherwise.
It will be a few years before cyclists can ride on extended trails in Sarasota County, but Blumenthal encourages more people to get out and get away from the traffic.
And try it and see how you like it. I know you will like it.
These trails are starting to take over. The Rails to Trails Conservancy says more than 31,000 miles of rail trails are spread out across the state, and more than 8,000 miles are waiting to be built, including some here in Sarasota. Reporting on the Legacy Trail, Erica Jackson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Coming up, we have it covered the man who manages the trail for the county, those who enjoy using it, and a gadfly. Stay with us.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Teachers inspire our children and promote a lifetime of learning. So ABC7 and Gettle Automotive want to honor these chalkboard champions by giving them the chance to win $500. But we need your help. Go to mysuncoast.com/chalkboardchampions to nominate an outstanding teacher who's really making a difference. And each month we'll deliver $500 to one teacher in Sarasota County and one teacher in Manatee County. Go to mysuncoast.com and nominate your chalkboard champion today.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
The world is a beautiful place again.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Watch Suncoast View weekdays at 9 a.m. on ABC7.
Welcome back. Sarasota residents voted to pony up $65 million to extend the Legacy Trail. The dream is for a trail for cyclists, runners, skaters, sightseers that goes from Venice now through Sarasota and maybe one day all the way to Tampa. While there's been some opposition to buying the property, there's been much more support for it. So where do we go from here? And joining us for more are John Robertson, who manages the trails for Sarasota County, Roger Norman of Vote Yes for Sarasota County Legacy Trail Extension, Martin Hyde, who ran for Sarasota City Commission, and joining us by Skype, Mark Blumenthal, a volunteer for the trail efforts. And let's start with you, John. Now that the referendum was passed, what happens next? What kind of time frame?
So prior to the referendum being put on the ballot, the Trust for Public Lands, who's under contract with Sarasota County, was negotiating with the sellers, and they signed a contract pending the passing of the referendum. The next steps in that contract are the due diligence period, where they do phase 1 and phase 2 environmental audits, do surveying, various background pieces. They've got until April 30th to complete that process. Assuming everything goes smoothly, it's scheduled to close no later than May 30th.
Let me ask you that everything goes smoothly. What kind of hiccups could there be?
Well, when you're buying a railroad corridor, there's always concerns about contamination along the rails, or the way the railroad company maintains the ground. So there's a lot of soil testing going on, determining if there is contamination, if there is, how much, and how to remediate for it.
Roger, just how excited is your organization about
we were
this?
ecstatic we were the catalyst for getting this initiative working closely with the county, and so we were ecstatic not only with the margin of victory. 71% support is astounding, but it was also the breadth of the support. 100 out of 100 precincts voted in favor of the vote yes. So it was broad and deep.
Right. And Mark, what does this mean for your average bicyclist out there, jogger or sightseer?
Well, this is going to be a very, very good trail. We are ranked right now number 4 in the nation to have one of the best trails. And if people get out on the trail and see what the trail can do for them, they will be very, very happy.
Martin, there's been very little criticism of it. You know, the mayor of Venice was a little bit more reserved about it. He's not against the trail so much as against the money. Are there really, financial concerns about taking out?
I don't think so, not in this case. $65 million is a lot of money, but it's spread between hundreds of thousands of people. It's a 50, 60 buck a year cost for most county taxpayers. This is an economic boon. This has some upside. Property value certainly along and adjacent to the trail, but also tourism. So I'm typically fiscally conservative, but I think here there's a real financial upside.
Okay. Our conversation will continue right after we get a check on the First Alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. Good night to bike ride, or good day to bike ride, too. Temperatures a little bit on the warmer side than we saw over the weekend, but gorgeous sunset tonight. Lows to start the day off will be into the upper 60s near the water, mid-60s inland east of I-75, to 70 if you're right on the water. So temperatures running about 8 to 10 degrees above average. We'll have partly cloudy skies. Now, there could be some patchy fog forming due to the increased humidity in the lower levels of the atmosphere. As far as the weather headlines read, we are looking at a weak cold front to make its way through Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, and bring with it some cooler overnight readings. Wednesday's lows will be into the upper 50s to low 60s, so that's fairly typical for this time of year. And another system comes in on Saturday, so after Thanksgiving, things look to be pretty good until Saturday. Some showers and maybe an isolated thunderstorm in the mix. Right now, not much rain to speak of on the radar sweep. Some showers well to the west and north of us now with that developing storm system over the lower Mississippi Valley. That is going to track off to the northeast basically, and high pressure will build in behind it and clear our skies, it looks like, for the most part, on into late Wednesday and Thanksgiving Day. Now, with some snow falling in northern sections of Pennsylvania tonight, southern sections of New York, this is going to be the stormy area, basically the northern New England states, as well as New York and Pennsylvania over the upcoming days, so it could cause some travel concerns. And it looks to be very cold for the Macy's Day Parade on Thanksgiving in New York, and windy as well, but most of the snow will be over by then. You can see some showers here out to the west and north of us and a lot of clouds. We'll look for a mixture of sun and clouds throughout the day tomorrow. Should be another nice day there for bike riding, and we'll see a slight chance at 20% for an isolated shower or two. Those winds will start to shift too. You'll notice that in the afternoon once the front moves through. They'll become more northerly in time, and they'll pick up a little bit in pace too late in the afternoon and throughout the evening out of the north at 10 to 15. So the forecast starts off pretty warm, 70 degrees, some fog around, and then we'll see partly cloudy skies throughout the day. High temperatures will be above average or right around it, and into the upper 70s to low 80s for the most part. Here's the GFS forecast model showing that snow again, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, into New York, and then another little clipper comes down on Wednesday. This is going to be the biggest travel day for the United States, and it looks to be pretty good from Texas all the way over to the central U.S. and Chicago looking good. Even the Mid-Atlantic coast states, not a problem as this large area of high pressure will dominate the weather. With the exception of the Northeast and the northern New England states, they'll see snow there, which will cause some travel headaches even into, looks like Wednesday night. Thanksgiving looks good. Just some lake effect snows occurring in parts of Michigan, western portions of New York. And then another storm comes in on Saturday with some rain mainly across the southeast. For us, we'll see a pretty good chance for some showers. Isolated thunderstorm not out of the question. That chance is only at 20% for a thunderstorm. 60% chance for some showers on Saturday. And the long-range model showing a pretty big storm system making its way through on Sunday over the Plain States and the Great Lakes. Well, this will change our weather significantly on Wednesday and Thursday of next week. We're talking highs only in the 60s, I think, by Wednesday and Thursday, and lows will be down into the 50s once again, lower 50s on Thursday, and looks like that's next Thursday, not this Thanksgiving. Cool down next week. Obviously, we're talking about, this is November 26th, and high temperatures into the upper 60s there, and then low temperatures in the 50s and 40s over parts of the panhandle of Florida. Here's the boating forecast for you tomorrow. Winds will be not all that strong. We'll see them out of the north at 10 knots. Seas will be right around 2 feet. There'll be a light chop on the bays and inland waters. The extended forecast then, we're talking highs pretty close to seasonal averages. Slightly cooler low temperatures on Wednesday and Thursday morning. Thanksgiving looks good. 20% chance for a shower. Better chances for rain comes on Saturday at 60% for a few showers. We'll be right back talking about rails to trails just after this.
Where to go and what to do in Birmingham, Alabama. Personalized just for you. Find your sweet spots at alabama.travel. Medicare.com/sweetspot.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
It's year-end clearance time at every Gettle location. Over 3,000 new vehicles, over 1,000 used vehicles on clearance right now at Gettle.com. And Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Get credit help, fast cash for your car, and year-end clearance prices right now at a Gettle dealership near you. Gettle's got it. At Gettle.com.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks. In ICU, he went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Welcome back. We are talking about Rails to Trails, and joining us for more are John Robinson, who manages the trails for Sarasota County, Roger Norman, president of the Friends of Legacy Trails, Martin Hyde, who ran for Sarasota City Commission, and joining us by Skype, Mark Blumenthal, a volunteer for the trail efforts. And John, let me start with you again. What is the process once the closing takes place and you have the property in hand in terms of converting it from what it is today to what the rest of us would like to ride and cycle on and so forth?
So as soon as the referendum passed, a team of county employees got started working on the planning schedules. We'd already had a rough idea. We have what we consider an aggressive schedule to have people riding the trail by December of 2024. That's a lot. There's a lot involved with putting this together.
Like
with the planning, the engineering, the design. We're still applying for matching grants from the state of Florida and from the federal government. We passed a $65 million bond, but it was an up to $65 million with the idea that we're going to try and get as much of other people's money as we can invested back into Sarasota County.
And Roger, when you're talking about now converting it into a trail that a whole bunch of people could utilize, what are we talking about in terms of cyclists and joggers and so forth?
Well, right now, the trail, which doesn't connect to the 2 major population centers, downtown Sarasota and Northport, we already have almost 250,000 users per year, which is an astounding number. So we expect that number to simply explode once we connect to the city, downtown Sarasota. And we need to remember that the referendum was not just to go to downtown Sarasota, it was also better connect to the city of Northport. So that is that angle. And this completed trail will, for the first time, connect South County to North County. So that's an important ingredient.
And Mark, what's important, I think, for people to understand, and personal, a point of personal privilege here, my wife and I have been going on these large, 20-mile bike rides throughout the entire Tampa Bay area, looking at different trails to go on. In many cases, though, it's limiting because some of these trails are only 10 miles and you get to a point that you have to turn around. It's the end of the trail, so to speak. The idea here, correct me if I'm wrong, is to get past all of that, correct?
Yes. let me say this. For many years, we've been working on this trail. I was the chairman of the Bicycle Pedestrian Trails Committee for the County of Sarasota for many years. And in those years, we discussed how the trail would benefit the citizens of the county heading north from where we are now. We will need, just so you know, 6 bridges. Clark Road, Proctor, Wilkinson, D Ridge, Bay Vista, and Beneva Road. The width of the new trail I've recommended will be 15 feet wide. There'll be approximately 475,000 people using the trail from Clark to downtown Payne Park, which will put an overall average of 700,000 people per year using the trail. Northport has put together a package of $2 million to connect the trail from Laurel Road.
All right, Mark, let me jump in there just for a second because we have to take a commercial break. Obviously, we are just getting warmed up on our conversation. We'll be right back in a minute with more on Rails to Trail. Stay with us.
Helping families with mesothelioma is all we do. My firm has been offering a free book on mesothelioma for over 10 years. Since that time, hundreds of people with mesothelioma have trusted us to represent them. We have local offices throughout the U.S. and there is no risk to you. Mesothelioma really is all we do.
Call us at 1-800-485-6000. That's 1-800-485-6000.
Or go to mesoonlylaw.com.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call, and you cannot be turned down for any reason. Even if you have health problems or are living on a fixed income, guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance policies could work for you with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
My mom didn't have life insurance and the cost all fell on me. And that's expensive. We're still paying for that.
Yeah, we're still paying for that.
Call 1-800-218-4991. Now, in one phone call, you can help prepare your family with protection amounts up to $25,000. There are no medical tests or health questions. And remember, you cannot be turned down for any reason. In fact, TruStage policies are already protecting over 18 million Americans. And rates are designed to be affordable, starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease.
When I leave, everything will be taken care of for them.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now for a free, no-obligation quote. TruStage offers plans to fit your budget with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-218-4991 now.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device. You're watching ABC7 News at 7:30.
Welcome back. We are talking about rails to trails, and joining us for more are John Robinson, who manages the trails for the county, Roger Norman, president of the Friends of Legacy Trails, Martin Hyde, who ran for Sarasota City Commission, and joining us by Skype, Mark Blumenthal, a volunteer with the trail efforts. John, it appears from what I'm reading about how this is being planned out, you're trying to offer a lot of different things to a lot of different people who would utilize the trails. And just my own observation, that is not always in other communities around the Tampa Bay area. It doesn't seem like there is as many things being offered on those trails, even the newer ones that you're trying to put in here.
Well, I think that things are changing in the rails to trails. I think people are looking for more things to do, not only using the trail to get from point A to point B, but things to do along the trail. So scenic vistas, perhaps some exercise or fitness equipment along the trail, different ways to activate the property. And so you're not just using the 15 feet down the center of the trail corridor, you're using all the property that the community's invested in.
Is the idea to provide a place where serious cyclists can do what they do, and some of them go on like 100-mile rides, but also the casual cyclists and so forth?
The Legacy Trail that's open right now is more attractive to the cyclists that want to go the long distances because there's fewer road crossings. But the trail has a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit, and the serious cyclists that want to get out there and ride in pace lines and go really fast go much faster than that. So they're using the bike lanes on the roads in most cases. The extension, as it goes into downtown Sarasota, will cross 12 different streets. So when you're stopping and starting, that's going to discourage the serious cyclists, but it's going to encourage the families to give them a place to ride and recreate away from cars.
Let me suggest that is the typical current Legacy Trail rider is not the triathlete who's trying to create a record pace, but more of the out for enjoyment, out for just enjoying the ride. And so they're the typical slow rider. We rarely see triathletes on the trail.
Maybe not triathletes, but I see a mixture of both. The serious cyclist out there, and then folks like my wife and I who are trying to get in a little bit of exercise, who may not always be interested in the city streets, which get very, very crowded and so forth.
So it's a multi-use trail, so we want to encourage people, whatever their ability is, to enjoy the trail and be courteous to all trail users, whether they're cycling, whether they're walking, whether they're out to enjoy bird watching or rollerboarding or skateboarding or rollerblading. So it's a multi-use trail.
$65 million, Martin. You said something at the outset that you're hoping that this can be an economic driver. In what way?
In a number of ways. I mean, the first thing is necessarily people's property value is adjacent and proximate to it. It's an attractive thing, and people would like the access to it, much in the same way as they would like access to the water or the beach. So that's going to be a good thing for the people close. The multimodal aspect of it, the fact that some people may even be able to commute into downtown from Bee Ridge and so forth potentially and feel safer. I think that could help people again in the surrounding areas. And from a tourist perspective, not everybody wants to go to the beach. Some people want to get out and have a healthy alternative. So this all adds to the vitality and the potential, and hopefully opens our community up. I mean, we tend to be thought of as older.
Right. And John, is there planning being given to just how far we could take the experience here in terms of creating almost a tourism industry around this with, in some places restaurants and other places more of a natural habitat and so forth?
Well, I think if you compare us to the Pinellas Trail up in Pinellas County, it goes through, it revitalized downtown Dunedin. And
I was there last weekend.
Yeah, the city has turned itself to face the trail at this point. And I think there's opportunities like this. This trail goes through the Pinecraft community. It's going to bring a lot of people into the Pinecraft community. It's going to be a boon to those people who use bicycles for transportation, as Martin was saying. So I think it's going to have major impacts all around the community.
Mark, we saw in Erica's story that these maps that show basically this trail going from one end of the state all the way up to Jacksonville. Are we really serious about a future where you could have one trail that can take you from here to there?
Yes. This trail is going to be a very important part of that system. The system has already started. They started building out the system about 3 years ago, and it's going from Jacksonville to Tampa. So it will eventually get to Tampa. Just as the Pinellas Trail will be heading north to Atlanta, Georgia. Now, let me say this, that Alan, since you and your wife use the trail, you could also use the trail south of Venice train station, which is the Venetian trail system. It goes 4.5 miles to a beautiful park. You turn around and come back to the train station.
Right, but John, this project now, $65 million in Sarasota County, gets you so far in order to accomplish the dream here. You're dealing with a lot of different counties who may be more or less aggressive about what they want to do.
You are, but the Florida Department of Environmental Protection has an Office of Greenways and Trails that works throughout the state to help make those connections. And then they work together with the Florida Department of Transportation to help provide funding to some of these counties. So there's an overall organizing plan to it that helps direct how all these connections will be made. The railroads didn't go everywhere, so it won't all be rails to trails. There'll be some on-road connections. This trail, as you end up in downtown Sarasota, we're looking at the connections out to Longboat Key to use the beautiful trail system they have along the key out there. So some of those connections will go next to roads, but where they can, the railroad corridors make an excellent opportunity.
Roger, is there any coordination between groups like yours and others in Manatee County, Pinellas, or Hillsborough, or wherever, in order to have kind of like a real vision of just how big we could take this?
The overall coordination is through the Sun Trail program, which, as John mentioned, is in existence. It's backed by policy and priorities, and we joined with the county and the MPO 3 years ago to try to get Legacy Trail funding. But at the time, we didn't own the corridor. We didn't even have it under contract. And we came in third place just out of the money. And so, but we planted the seed, we fertilized it. The moment that the county signed when the county agreed to purchase the segment to Atchison Road, outcomes from FDOT, $7.5 million Sun Trail money. So to add on to what John said, there's not only policy and prioritization and scrutinization, but there's also not a whole lot of money, but it's $25 million a year for connecting trails across the state.
And Martin, given the amount of money that we're spending here, do you have any questions about whether you're dealing with other counties and the big picture that we're talking about here, whether the resources will be out there on a statewide level to make this happen?
Well, I think they will. I think it's an interesting thing with divided country that we are in many ways politically, but this seems to have strong bipartisan support. Anybody that wants to see people out and doing things other than sitting inside and getting out in the Florida sunshine. So yeah, I do think so. And I think that the value will be in putting stuff in infrastructure so much more important.
Right. And John, when you seek to create the extension here that we're talking about here, where do you look for ideas in terms of making it either A, unique, or B, looking at what other communities and other states are doing for their trail system?
Two of the ones that I've looked at recently to try and get inspiration from is the Underline in Miami, which is a beautiful trail they're putting under their metro system. So it's land that they already own, so they're way ahead of us on that one. And they got their inspiration from the Beltline in Atlanta, where they have over 30 miles of railroad around the city and through the city, and they're using it to revitalize the entire city.
Right. I wanted to ask you, those are more metropolitan areas than what we're talking about here, though?
Right, and so they're not things that we would copy. We just look for the good ideas that fit within our community and fit within our budget and see what we can do.
All right, we have to take another quick break, and we'll be back for final thoughts in a moment, so stay with us.
Since 1847, the Grand Hotel has earned a worldwide reputation for elegance and hospitality. Now the Grand has been transformed with reimagined rooms and suites and exceptional fine dining and meeting spaces. The spa is more luxurious, and championship golf will test your game, all overlooking beautiful Mobile Bay. The Grand Hotel Golf Resort and Spa. Timeless elegance transformed. For reservations, visit grand1847.com.
Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP is the largest locally owned CPAP supply company in the area. Is it time to replace your old equipment? The staff at Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP can show you the most up-to-date CPAP equipment and supplies to meet your sleep apnea needs, including portable travel devices and the SoClean automatic CPAP sanitizer. We serve all of Southwest Florida, giving the highest quality of care with the finest CPAP equipment. Please visit our website, sarasotacpap.com.
It's year-end clearance time at every Gettle location. Over 3,000 new vehicles, over 1,000 used vehicles on clearance right now at Gettle.com. And Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Get credit help, fast cash for your car, and year-end clearance prices right now at a Gettle dealership near you. Gettle's got it. At Gettle.com.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
I'm Deshauna Barber. In 2016, I was proud to win the title of Miss USA. What makes me just as proud is my service in the U.S. military. In the service, a soldier gains skills and learns values like discipline and leadership. That makes them an asset to any business that hires them. If you're an employer, on behalf of Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, remember to hire smart and bet on a vet. Visit saluteheroes.org or call this number to learn more.
And our guests join us right now for final thoughts. And Mark, I'm going to start with you in terms of what kind of victory was this referendum for you and those people who really want to get out there and enjoy Mother Nature?
Well, let me say this, that if the people who use the trail will enjoy it and have a great time, no matter if they go from Venice to Clark or Clark to downtown.
And John, just how much work is ahead of you in the next coming months in order to get through to this first part here where you're closing in on the property?
Well, I'll say after 30 years of working in the public sector for Florida's environment, this is the first time I had the opportunity to vote to give myself a whole lot of work. So that'll be the next
job security.
The next few months won't be that hard. That'll be more on the real estate agent side and the legal side and the contracting. The real work for us will start right after the closing when we start doing everything we can to get people on the trail as soon as possible.
And Roger, what do you think? What do you hope this means for this community from one end to the other?
It presents an incredible opportunity for safe cycling, safe multi-use of the trail for trail users and for drivers at intersections, because you're aware of the incidences we've had elsewhere, and so this the best is separation.
Well, it makes me also wonder, is there going to be any effort underway to make cycling safer and even educate the public in terms of do's or don'ts?
We do. We have, and it starts out with kids. We have programs where we do helmet fitting for kids, and we give them free helmets. So that's one initiative that we have, and we work closely with bike clubs to promote some.
And Martin, finally, for as somebody who just kind of watches the public till as much as you do, what do you look for?
Well, I think, the week of Thanksgiving, I think we can be thankful for once that everybody came together. This is a community project. These guys have been active in it. The county seemed to have a good handle on it, and I can't see anything wrong. Normally, I can find something to criticize, but I can't on this at all.
Okay, mark the time and date, everyone. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We want to thank our guest, John Robinson, who manages the trails for the county, Roger Norman, the president of the Friends of Legacy Trails, and Martin Hyde, who ran for Sarasota City Commission, and joining us by Skype, Mark Blumenthal, a volunteer for the trail efforts. When we return nearly 2 weeks later, the winners are officially announced in some of the too close to call midterm races, including some here in Florida. What races have yet to be called? But right now, let's get the final check on our First Alert forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Good evening, everyone. We are watching the sunset here on Holmes Beach. You can see a lot of folks out there, so you can see obviously no problems with red tide here at least, but there have been still some reports of red tide effects having impacts on some of the area beaches all the way from Pinellas County southward down to near Fort Myers. So it's still out there. It's just patchy at this point. Temperatures are a bit cooler over the Panhandle, 61 now in Jacksonville. 10 degrees warmer in Orlando. It's 75 at the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport, and temperatures around our immediate area right now in the low 70s in Cortez and Bradenton. Sarasota 75 now in Inglewood, and the Gulf water temperature now at 74. 76 in Arcadia, and there are some showers around, mainly east now. Near Highlands County, near Sebring, getting a pretty good shower there right now, pushing off to the east and southeast. You see it kind of exploding there. There's a few spotty showers out here in the Gulf of Mexico, so we won't rule out a possible sprinkle through the next couple of hours. But more importantly, an area of low pressure is developing here off the coast of Louisiana. This low will basically track to the south, but we also have a high pressure building in from the Central Plains. This high pressure ridge with its rotation, the wind around it, is going to force that front down through our area late Wednesday, late Tuesday, I should say, early Wednesday, and bring with it some slightly cooler overnight low temperatures, especially on Wednesday morning and Thanksgiving morning. We'll be into the upper 50s to low 60s to start the day off. Now, that's pretty normal for this time of year. We're going to see above average temperatures tonight with low temperatures right around 70 degrees in most places, some upper 60s inland. Those winds will be generally out of the east and southeast or northeast tomorrow, and then become more northerly in time late in the day on Tuesday. Now, high pressure will dominate. This high pressure ridge will build in from the north and keep our weather generally fair, I think, through Thanksgiving and even into Friday. As that high pressure ridge builds in, look for fair skies for the most part over the southeast. One storm, and this is a big travel day over the northeast, but it's not a major winter storm. It is a storm. It's going to cause some problems into New York, not so much at LaGuardia or, for that matter, into New Jersey. Things will stay rather quiet there, but offshore it will be a different story. A big area of high pressure moves in, by the way, on Thanksgiving, and it's a cold Arctic high. And so for the Macy's Parade in New York, it's going to be a very cold day. You can see the GFS forecast model on Saturday showing some showers, mainly rain, across parts of Kentucky, Tennessee, into the Carolinas, and even into Florida. We're going to have a better chance for some showers moving on through. The main thrust of the storm will be well to the north and east of us as it wraps up and kind of heads off to the northeast. Then another snowstorm moving through Iowa and Missouri, as well as Kansas City on Sunday morning, will make its way to the southeast and eventually cool us down significantly next week. So by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, we're going to see that cold blast once again, where temperatures will only warm into the upper 60s for highs and low temperatures into the low 50s. That'll happen next week. Again, we're going to see that colder air spilling in. This is Monday. You can see high temperatures still pretty warm. And then as Tuesday works its way around, low temperatures in the low 60s, and look for high temperatures only into the low to mid 60s on Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Currently, we have 75 degrees. We have some clouds out there, and the humidity is higher at 79%. Winds are light, and with the temperature getting close to the dew point and calm winds, there could be some patchy fog tomorrow morning. Now, the high today warmed to 83. That's well above the average of 78 degrees. Our normal low at 59 will be well above that tomorrow morning. We're right around 70 degrees in most places near the beaches, so a pretty warm overnight low. Well, the cold Arctic air is now over the northern plain states, but that's expected to travel to the east and northeast just in time for Thanksgiving. Highs tomorrow, 44 in Kansas City, 35 in Cleveland, 32 in Chicago, and 42 in Boston. Those are high temperatures for Tuesday. For boaters tomorrow, north winds at 10 knots. Seas will be right around 2 feet. There'll be a light chop. The water temperature has cooled down to 74 degrees, and the forecast calling for a mixture of sun and clouds tomorrow. High temperatures still warm, upper 70s. Will stay that way on Wednesday, but notice this number here. It goes down into the upper 50s to low 60s. That's that weak cold front I talked about. It stays pretty nice on Thursday, Thanksgiving. Be thankful. You're here in Florida. Temperatures will be mild. Al will be right back after this. Stick around.
Happy Honda Days are here, and you're gonna like the holiday clearance savings. Save on the Accord, on sale for just $249 a month. That's the North American car of the year for less than the competition. Our most impressive Honda ever, on clearance for only $249 a month, loaded with more options, including a turbocharged engine and Honda Sensing. Do not miss these Honda clearance savings this week at your local Honda dealer.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Watch ABC7 wherever you are, on our live stream, on mysuncoast.com, on the ABC7 My Suncoast app, powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life, featuring traffic maps and live radar, dining with recipes, and My Suncoast Restaurant Guide. Visit mysuncoast.com. Click on the Apps tab to download the ABC7 My Suncoast app for Apple and Android.
Women have shed their blood in defense of America since the dawn of the Republic.
Nobody wants to die for their country, but a lot of people are willing to die for their buddy.
Their sacrifices are profound.
I blame myself because I think, what if I was there?
And their noble accomplishments largely ignored.
The ultimate cost could be our lives.
Unsung Heroes, the story of America's female patriots.
What can a father do clear on the other side of the world?
Sunday at 10 on ABC7.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 78.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Find out first at 4 on the Suncoast with ABC7 News at 4. ABC7 News at 4 starts with a detailed look at your first alert weather forecast to help you plan and prepare. We give you a fresh, fast-paced rundown of the day's top stories and videos, including breaking news, live updates, and traffic hotspots, all at a new, more convenient time. Find out first at 4, weekdays on ABC7. Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. Watch Suncoast View weekdays at 9 a.m. on ABC7.
Checking primetime headlines, there are still seats up for grabs in this year's hotly contested midterms, but many of the country's most watched races wrapped up this weekend. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the latest on who will be taking charge next year.
After nearly 2 weeks of recounts, protests, and runoffs, it seems the midterm elections are finally wrapping up. And in many of the most contested races for governor and Senate, Republicans came out on top. In Georgia, Governor-elect Brian Kemp is already looking ahead after Democrat Stacey Abrams conceded the race over the weekend.
I understand the enormous responsibility that was given to me on November the 6th. I'm prepared to do what it takes to ensure a smooth and successful transition on January the 14th.
President Trump claiming his endorsement helped decide the race.
I went against President Obama and Oprah Winfrey and Michelle Obama in a great state called Georgia for the governor.
In Florida, 12 days of tension and chaos surrounding dual mandatory recounts have ended with 2 Republicans on top, newly elected Senator Rick Scott and Governor Ron DeSantis. But in California, the blue wave in the House continued, with Democrat Gil Cisneros flipping a seat previously held by a Republican.
People feel like they haven't had real representation in a long time in the district.
Democrats also recently picked up the last Republican-held House seat in Los Angeles County, meaning they've picked up 37 seats so far. But we're not quite done with midterms just yet. A handful of House elections are still up in the air, and there's one Senate race in Mississippi that will be decided by a runoff. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
He was a no-show on Veterans Day. Now President Trump is attacking the man who commanded the raid that got bin Laden. Retired Navy Admiral William McRaven led the 2011 raid that killed Osama bin Laden and says President Trump's attack on the news media is detrimental to democracy. Trump dismissed McRaven's remarks and called him a Hillary Clinton backer in a Fox News interview that aired yesterday. In the interview, the president also criticized the U.S. military for not killing bin Laden sooner.
McRaven, retired admiral, Navy SEAL, 37 years, former head of U.S. Special Operations.
Hillary Clinton fan.
Special Operations.
Excuse me, Hillary Clinton fan.
Who led the operations, commanded the operations that took down Saddam Hussein and that killed Osama bin Laden, says that your sentiment is the greatest threat to democracy in his lifetime.
He's a Hillary Clinton backer and an Obama backer. And frankly,
he was a Navy SEAL.
Wouldn't it have been nice if we got Osama bin Laden a lot sooner than that?
McRaven says he did not back Hillary Clinton or anyone else, but he called himself a fan of President Obama and President George W. Bush. He says he stands by his statement that Trump's attacks on the media is the greatest threat to democracy in his lifetime. CNN's White House correspondent Jim Acosta's press pass is no longer in jeopardy. Today, the White House announced it will not try to have the pass revoked at the expiration of the 14-day temporary restraining order. Friday, the White House sent Acosta a letter outlining a preliminary decision to suspend his pass again after a judge restored it. CNN responded by asking the U.S. District Court for another emergency hearing. The White House says its lawyers advised the hard pass be returned and the legal action halted. The statement also says the president agrees with the decision. 3 people are in critical condition, including a police officer, after a shooting this afternoon at Chicago's Mercy Hospital. The suspect was also shot and is in critical condition. The suspect has been identified as a 32-year-old male. Police have secured the hospital and patients are safe. We'll have more details on this shooting coming up tonight at 11. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.